Right, another important category with Predator, the mandibles. Obviously these both come with the open and closed mandibles, and they've both got strong points, and I'll explain them to you. Strong point on the Classic is the colour and the paintwork. Really good. If you look, see the veins inside the mouth, paintwork. The outer seam is not really noticeable. The downside is the seam on the inside of the mouth, you can push it together and it's okay, should I say. You can get it tighter than that. I don't even think I've pushed that one in right. I could have put it in wrong. Don't know. But with a bit of work, you can make it look less obvious than I have done. But the shape of the seam on this one is not noticeable at all, really. But the inner mouth is too red on the Pred one. So like I said, there's a plus and minus. Also, the size of the mouth on that is better. But if I had to decide on which has got the best mandibles, I would give it to Pred 1. And the reason for that is the tooth colour. Now, anybody who's had this in hand will know what I mean. The teeth colour has got like a really good tusk effect, as if the old mandible's been painted onto kind of a translucent plastic. So if you were to shine a light behind it, you'd see through it. Whereas the tooth colour of that is like probably been done on a white plastic and then painted to look like teeth. And the effect is just much, much better on the Pred 1's teeth. So mandibles, it's close, but I've just given it to Pred 1. Right, another tricky category and an important one. Listen clearly. Head sculpt. Now I've took into account here the size of the head, the expression, how the mandibles fit, which I think is closest, or the way I see it, should I say. Not everybody sees everything exactly the same, but the way I see it and remember it. Very, very close. How would I describe it? It's down to the expression for me, I think, and probably scale. And I've given it to the Classic. Not by a long way, because they are both awesome looking pieces, but I just think, I don't know, sometimes you look at the Pred 1 from a certain angle, it's got like a surprise look about it, whereas the Classic's just got a fucking straight up bad motherfucker look about it, and that's what I want in a Predator. It's hard to describe, but I don't know. When you see them together, you just know. It's hard. I can't explain no better than that. But close. Best head sculpt, Classic. Right, another important category, biomask. Show you both. What I'll do, I'll put it in context with the old figure. Obviously that's the Classic. And rolling up the Pred 1. Again, try to get them in a similar pose. And up to the top. Show them together. Pretty easy to decide this one, boys. I always thought Pred 1 were a bit of a fucking balloon head. When you get this one, it makes you realise that his mask is just far too big. It doesn't sit as flush as the Classics do. I mean, look at that. That's fucking champion, that, brothers. You know it. Look at that one. It's good. It's fucking awesome sculpt. Works well. The light's really good. It's just oversized. I can't even fucking argue with it. And the fact that the Classic also brings a battle damage version, it just means it kicks its arse even more. So yeah, on the biomask, so both all light up nicely, proportion wise, and how it fits, definitely the fucking Classic. No brainer that. Right, next category, scale. As you can see, I've put Arnold. Obviously it's not the Dutch Arnold, it's from Terminators, as you know, which is like on an oversized human body. They're all on the stands. I know the Predator stands are slightly bigger, but to emphasize the scale, obviously I've scored it to the Classic. There's nowhere near enough difference between that and that. There isn't really nowhere near enough difference between that and that one, but it's a case of bigger the better. It's not only the height, it's the sort of the stature of the body. You look at that. I mean, Arnold looks wider, obviously he's got his coat on. But when you look at that and then compare that to that, his fucking arms are smaller than Arnold's. His waist probably smaller than Arnold's. So you stand them together, you've got to be careful what you're standing next to what, because it gives an impression that you've got a fucking dwarf Predator on your hands. So on the scale, obviously, I've given it to the Classic. Right, brothers, so if you've counted up my categories that I've done 22 categories, and if you've been scoring it, you'll realise that the Predator 1 got 9 and the Classic Predator got 13 categories. That don't go to say that either figure's fucking not awesome, because they are. I would just say well done to Hot Toys for making not just one but two awesome fucking representations of the original Predator. I know people are going to be screaming that's not the original Predator, but it's close enough for Clipper King. So what would I say? I would say if you've not ordered the Classic already, I would fucking seriously think about getting it, because it is a fucking awesome Predator, no two ways about it. It's just fucking, for the money, it's awesome. Like I said, Good, the Bad and the Robots, I think still got him for about 170 quid. If you can snag one, do so. Now, the original Predator, I would say, I've seen some of these and they're coming down, they're around £200. Anybody who's even curious about the original Predator, for £200, if you can pick it up, I'd say fucking snap somebody's hand off, because it is the original, it fucking always will be the original, they can't change that, and it is still an awesome figure. If I were to do my top 10 countdown or top 20 or whatever, it would still be really, really up there. So it is an awesome figure. So what I would say is, if you can get one around 200 for that, I would get it. Really nice, fucking box is fucking awesome. Like I've said, everything that I've said I agree with. 200 quid for that, you're buying yourself a fucking masterpiece of a figure. If you can get that for 70 anytime soon, do so, because before long it'll be well up over £200. Now, final thoughts. Obviously, scores wise, the Classics won it. It were closer than I thought it were going to be, if I'm honest, when I broke it all down. I suppose to make the perfect Predator, you would have to take bits from each, really. The box from that, the base from that, I would say, the trophies from that, and the Mandible style from that, and then blend it onto this one, and from the scale of that, maybe even make it a touch taller again. But I would say, if somebody walked up to Clipper King now, put a fucking gun in my mouth and said, right, you bastard, I'm taking one of your Predators, which one you want to keep? The honest answer, brothers, and I'm sorry to Team Dean, I would now keep the Classic Predator, because that's as close to the Predator as I want Hot Toys to fucking be. I'm more than buzzing about it. Like I said, I bought both from the same person, Good, the Bad and the Robots. Get on to Lee if you want any of these two, because they are, like I said, both awesome. But like I said, if I had to keep one, it would definitely now be the Classic. So I'm sure you'll all pop onto comments and say your parts, and I hope you do. Even if you want to talk among yourselves, I'm going to stick to the points I've made. But I'll just say, this is Clipper King, brothers, and I'm out of here.